Hello, I've recorded this about a billion times by now, but maybe if I say that, it will make it easier for me to do it right, because it's off my chest. But anyways, now that I said that, I made an app. It is a note-taking app. It is free. There are no premium options, no stupid ads, no cookie pop-ups or anything. It's just a nice free app. And it's better than all other note-taking apps, surprisingly. So let me show it to you. To install it, you go to Safari on your iPhone, and you go Share. I'm sure Chrome on Android works as well, but anyways, and then click Add to Home Screen on my website, and then press Add. You can name it if you want, but I'm not going to name it. I'm going to move it to my home screen, because if it's not on your home screen, what are you doing? And now I'm going to open it. Wow. Okay, so here's the app. This app is meant to address the problem of real-time organization. So let's say you're talking to a friend and you have a few ideas for a movie you want to make, or whatever project you have in your life, or not even projects, but like things you want to do. How do you insert that into your notes in an organized manner? The problem is, if you have a lot of ideas and you have a lot of notes and you keep them in folders and whatnot, you have to scroll to each folder, then scroll down to your correct note, and then scroll down in the note to the correct place to insert the text into. And so if you're busy, it just becomes kind of unsustainable how long each of these actions take. So that's why I created this app to solve that problem. This app's functionality revolves around a folder structure model. Every time you create a note, you have to put it at a certain path. And then you have many paths, and you can search the paths very quickly and get to so I'll show you. So this bar you see, this search bar looking thing, is not just a search bar. It also lets you create notes and navigate to different notes, okay? So if I press this edit button at the bottom, it focuses the search bar, but because Safari on iPhone is, oh my gosh! Anyways, I'm sorry about that outburst. We open the app again. That's not going to happen to you. That's a technicality that has to do with my specific situation. So the keyboard bug, just disregard that, okay? So now we see this search bar is active, okay? How do we create a folder now? Well, let's name a folder called To Watch and press Shift Space to create the folder. You can see at the top our current path there is indicated as it says To Watch, and now we can insert notes here. So let's say we want to watch Rush Hour, okay? And we press Return to insert a note at that path. All right, so I made some TV shows and movies here, but there's an issue, which is that sometimes we're in like a TV mood and sometimes we're in a movie mood, And so now, how do we categorize all these notes? Because when I view my notepad, I don't want to have to sift through a bunch of TV shows when I'm in the mood to watch a movie. So how do we do that? Well, we can create a nested folder by typing movie, shift space, and then we can type a movie in here, like Rush Hour 3, return. Okay? Now, how do we get back to the original To Watch folder? Well, with the search bar empty, if we press backspace, it brings us back a folder. But you can see we can't see the To Watch movie note we just made, or rather the note in the To Watch movie folder that we just made. How do we view all nested paths? Well, at the very top, you can see the current path there. If we click that, it shows us all nested paths as well. So now we can see our To Watch movie note shows up. But now how do we move our notes to the To Watch movie folder? All of our movies should be in there now. So before we clean this up and move everything around, I want to make a projects folder. So I'm going to go back here and then go projects, shift space, and then I might do flashcard app. And then for this app, I might make a folder for JILU. So I might make a JILU folder, shift space, and then I might type some feature ideas. I might put them in a feature ideas folder. Feature ideas, shift space, and then I might go secret notes. I have an idea for secret notes for this app. If there's bugs, I might put them in a bug folder, some shitty bug. And then if there's something out of my control, for example, the whole Safari keyboard thing you just saw, that's a little out of my control, so I might put that in a Safari bugs folder. Maybe a year from now I'll look at it and see if there's anything that has been fixed that I can update in my app. So now I misspelled keyboard. How do we edit that? Well, to edit a note, all you have to do is click on it, and you can see our text here is rendered in Markdown. If I click on the content anywhere, I'm just going to click in the middle of my phone here. we can see a text area pops up and allows us to edit our note. And now I'll just dictate the note to my phone. If I switch from one PWA to another on my iPhone, comma, the keyboard doesn't show up until I close and reopen the app, period. Okay, and as you can see, the first line that we typed, keyboard bug, that gets regarded as the note's name and it's rendered as a markdown header. And then the rest of the note, the content, gets rendered as just regular markdown. If you type in lists, for example, you can type this, list, LOL, and you see the list there, and code blocks work as well. So everything where it uses marked, okay? So it renders markdown. But I don't want that list I just made, so I'm going to use the history feature at the top here and click previous, and then I'm going to save my note. And you can see the content is not shown here. Only the first line of our note is shown, what is regarded as the name of the note. And you can see that there's a pink indicator there showing how many characters are in the content of the note. So this note has 119 characters in its content. Okay, so now we have some paths. How do we view all of our paths? Well, the switch button at the bottom lets you view all the paths you have created. This menu is really useful for very quickly searching paths and then entering a path. So let's say, for example, I want to enter that Projects JILU feature ideas path. Well, I can press the edit button at the bottom and then type PJF, for example, and the search is very intelligent. So especially if you use the first letter of each word, you are very likely to get to that specific note. So the search works really well. And if I press return here, you can see it places me at that path and then switches to notes view. So I can either view or search notes here very quickly and update notes or create new notes very, very quickly. Going back to this paths view, everything is sorted by recency. So I most recently edited a note in the Safari bugs path, and so I want that path to show up first because I'm most likely to edit that one again. And so you can also just click on the paths here. So for example, I'm going to click on projects there, and it brings me to the projects folder, brings me to notes view, and it focuses the search bar and brings up the keyboard. So these workflows are very, very fast, about as fast as they can possibly be. You can also sort this menu by name as well as recency, and this is useful when you have many nested paths. You can, when you sort them by name, for example, anything in Projects JILU will be sorted by like how nested it is as well. So you can see anything that's in a specific path just very easily. But there's a faster way to get around. If I switch back and I press edit, I'm currently in the projects folder. And remember, we had Projects JILU Safari ideas, for example. If I type J right now, it suggests a path at the very top, Projects JILU bugs. But let's say I want to go to Projects JILU Safari bugs, I might type S now, and it uses the same search functionality as the paths view. To accept this current match, all we have to do is press return. And now it brings us to that path, and it's extremely quick to get anywhere. You don't have to switch back to the paths menu. This menu is more useful for getting a holistic idea of all the paths. Like let's say you're putting aside some time to kind of go through all your notes, and you just want to look through all your JILU notes. So you go Projects JILU and then press done, and you just look through them and see if any categories need to be merged or anything like that, or see any paths that you haven't looked at for a long time and maybe there's some outdated notes in there or something. Or if you don't remember the name of a certain path, it's very easy to search this menu and get that name and then go to it. So now that I've shown you this view, let's go back to the whole to watch list. So I'm going to switch back, and just to show you, I'm going to type in to watch, but I don't even have to type anything. It just puts me there. Press return. Now I'm here, and we see all our notes here. How do we move a note? Well, let's move Rush Hour 2 into the To Watch Movie folder. Let's click that note and then click up here, and you can see the same path suggesting system applies. If I type M, you see To Watch Movie appears there. If I press return to accept that match, now that's the new path. And if I press return again, it saves that note, and it's very quick to move a note. But that's still not quick enough. I'd rather move things even faster. Well, if I press and hold on a note, we are now in select mode. Now that I'm in select mode, all I have to do is click on other notes to add to my selection. So I'm going to add Sopranos and Rush Hour there. And now all I have to do is move to the movie folder. I don't even have to type movie. I can just type M and press return. Now I'm in the movie folder, and you can see none of our selection is in here. So when we do want to act on our selection, we want to be able to see the selection in order to ensure that these are the correct notes we want to act on. So you can see there's a cancel and all button there that popped up when we entered select menu. That number 4 there that shows the count of how many notes we have selected is actually also a button as well. So if I click that button, we can review our selection here, and we can see that yes, these are indeed the movies that I want to move. Now you see this move button at the bottom right. If I press that, they all move to the current folder, and because we were in the movie folder, they all move to where we are. There's also a merge option. So let's say these rush hour notes, I might want to merge them into one note. What I can do is, just to show you that it works with search as well, type rush. Okay, these are the 3 notes I want. Okay, press and hold one note, press all to select all of the ones in the current view, then click the review selection button, and then at the top right, I press merge. Okay, so now those notes have been merged. You don't have to go to another note and copy and paste the contents in a new note, and the component notes get put in the trash. So let me show you that. To trash a note, you can just click on it. Let's delete Sopranos here. I'm going to click the trash button at the bottom middle there, and now it's in the trash. If I press the settings menu to the left of the search bar and then click view trash, you can see our 3 original rush hour notes are here and our Sopranos note is here. Now if we go home, let's do that with the TV notes as well. So I'm going to go edit, back, done. And then instead of viewing nested paths, I'm only going to view the current path by clicking at the top there. Then I'm going to select all, move to a TV folder, but I have to create it because it doesn't exist yet. So shift space, press done. I actually didn't have to press down there, but now click on the review selection and then press move. And now they're all on my to watch TV. And then just go back here and view nested paths as well. And you can see now our thing is very nicely organized, and it was very quick to organize it. To clear the search bar, I click on the search bar. To clear the current path, I click on the search bar again. The reason I did it that way is because you're way more likely to edit the input than clear it, okay? You're going to be pressing the edit button a ton. So why would I want users to have to click on the input box every time they want to edit it and strain their hand by bringing their thumb to the top of the phone? It makes more sense that the edit button is where your thumb would already be, because you're going to be pressing that a ton with this app. So we have quite a few notes here now. Let's check out the search. So if I press edit and I type spirited, you can see that before I finish typing it, we already have a matching note that starts with spirit, and it shows us highlighted there. But what about searching the content of notes? Well, the name and the content of notes are not given any like weighting. They're both the same weight. So for example, this keyboard bug note here, if we click on that, we can see that we have the word iPhone in there. We have the word show, and you can see that I typed IP and it found iPhone in the content of that note, and it displays the content right at the bottom there. We don't want to see the whole entire content. We only want to see the matches. Now there's the word reopen in here. So if I, for example, type in reopen, you can see that that shows up as well. And if I type keyboard as well, you can see that keyboard is getting highlighted, and there's also the word keyboard in the content of the note. There are also some additional filtering and sorting options you can use to further refine your results. So if I clear the input there by clicking on it, we can press this YSR button to the right of the search bar, and we can see that we have these 3 categories of options. There is any and all filtering. The way any works is if any of the words you typed into the search bar are in a note, the note will show up as a result. But if you change it to all, that ensures that all the words you typed must be in a resultant note. You also saw that by default, if a word in a note starts with a word in the search bar, it will be matched. But for example, if I type key, the keyboard bug note will show up. But if I switch to exact and I type key, keyboard won't show up until I finish typing the word keyboard. That can be useful, for example, like let's say you know the note you are looking for has the word search, but many notes have the word searching. So you know you specifically want search. You can change it to exact, and it will only show those results. Once you have results, you can also sort them. So you can sort by shortest note, you can sort by longest note, you can sort by newest and oldest. And you can also just sort by the search ranking system that I developed for this app. If we press that button again, we'll go back to our normal searching here. I should also mention that this app is completely stored on your phone. There is no server storing your notes. In fact, they never even touch a server. It is all completely on your phone in IndexedDB and local storage. Now, there are some pros and cons to that. The obvious con being if you want to edit your notes both on your computer and your phone, there's no seamless connection between that. But if I'm being honest, even as much of a power user psychopath as I am, I have never felt the need to use my computer rather than my phone. So I don't really need these notes on my computer at all. And if I do want to edit something rather extensive, all I have to do is copy from my iPhone, and then I can paste right on my MacBook with no additional configuration. It works very seamlessly, and then I can edit it on my computer and then paste it back. But I've only done that once. If that's too big of a con for you, maybe we'll have some server in the future, but I'd really rather have this just be totally on your phone, because I can't tell you how many times Apple has messed up my sync. And then honestly, when I was using Google Keep, it was just such a slow application. It was painfully slow. This app is meant for speed, but it also begs the question, well, if your phone breaks, you're going to lose all your notes. So how do you deal with that? And this is where we have the solution that is even better than what other apps have. All you have to do is go to the settings menu, then click port, and here we have some port options. We can download a JSON file of all of our notes, and we can also download password encrypted JSON of all of our notes. So if I download that JSON here, it brings us to this little page. I can show you, if I open it in Pages, we can see that this is just normal JSON, trashed, false, history, name, content, only yesterday, whatever. Now if we go back here, I can show you how quick it is to back up your notes, your entire notes. All we do is press more, then go save to files, and then JILU notes, I press save. Now those notes are backed up. That's it. We can also back it up to Google Drive instantly. So if I go save to files, Google Drive, JILU notes, save, boom, it's done. So I just saved it in 2 separate locations, this small file for all of our notes. I don't know any other note-taking app that lets you so quickly back things up. And since it's in JSON, if you're some paranoid programmer guy and you want to do some paranoid shit with your notes, go ahead, it's in JSON. You can also download encrypted JSON. We'll type in a password here, press OK. We'll open in Pages just to show you that's encrypted. Yeah, it's not JSON anymore. And then all you have to do is go upload encrypted JSON or upload JSON, and your notes will be uploaded to your phone. So if at any time I feel like I have made recently some very important notes, I'll just back them up, and I have confidence that they're backed up in several locations, and it's very not time consuming to do that. I also want to mention that there are hotkeys for basically everything in this app, and all of them are documented on the GitHub repository. And I basically tried to document every workflow on the GitHub repository README. So if you try the app out and enjoy it, it might be worthwhile to make a read through that, or at least look at the hotkeys. But one of the main hotkeys I use is just pressing enter with the input box empty. So let's say I want to make a new project's JILU note. I go to PJ feature ideas, let's say, and then I can just press return with the search bar empty, and it will bring me to the edit page to create a new note. Like right now I can't save it, you can see, because there's no content. But once I add some content, the save button is enabled, and I can save this as a new note. So that's generally how I'll insert a new note, unless I'm checking for redundancy. So that's why this search feature is so important, because as you type in the search bar, you're simultaneously checking to see if a note with that content already exists. So let's say you're trying to add something to your shopping list or whatever, you go and you type it in and you realize, oh, I already have that in my shopping list, and then you just clear the search bar or whatever, and that's it. And if you don't see anything, you just make a new note with it. And if you do take a lot of notes like I do, you may see that redundancy ends up being pretty surprisingly time consuming sometimes. So that's why I really love the fact that you can search and create new notes at the same time. What's also relevant with that is if you are viewing notes here and then you type in some bug or whatever, and you see that there aren't any matches, you don't have a note that already exists with that content, from this menu, you can press Shift Return now. When the search bar is empty, you can just type Return to go to the Edit menu. But if you already have content in there, if you press Shift Return, it will bring you to the Edit menu with that name. And this note isn't created yet. If I cancel, you can see the note doesn't get put in. But if I go Edit and then I type in some shit and then now save it, you can see that that note gets inserted. So that's another hotkey. There are many other hotkeys. You can go check them out on the GitHub repository. And if you have any ideas for different hotkeys or what new hotkeys should be, then please raise an issue or leave a comment. So I think that's it. Hopefully you can kind of see the vision of this app. But I understand that some people don't really have that many ideas, or rather they don't get as attached to their ideas as I do personally. So whenever I have ideas, I always write them down, and I've been doing that for years. And I think this app is a little bit like AirPods. AirPods sound great as a concept, but until you actually put them on and use them, you don't really realize how freeing and convenient it feels to not have the wires attached to your phone in your pocket or something. I think that's the same deal with this app. Until you use it a bit and realize how much faster it is to create, update, and read notes, it may just sound like a gimmicky app or something, but I have over 1,000 notes in my own personal instance of this app, and it works really well. So I hope you give it a try. Like I said, it's free, and so yeah, I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.